All right, can we stop normalizing and confusing decisions with mistakes? A decision is something you choose, you think about, and you do. A mistake is accidental and no premeditation behind it. Y'all, there are so many of us that need to take responsibility. We need to take ownership. You need to have accountability. And you need to grow up and admit when you're wrong and you've messed up because of your poor decisions. Stop calling it a mistake. Your decision was the mistake. But the decision itself wasn't a mistake. That was a choice. And there's a huge difference. I don't say this lightly. I don't say this to offend you. I don't say this to cause condemnation or guilt or shame. I say this because until we get to a place as adults that we are no longer okay with blaming everyone else for our choices and our decisions, when we finally get to a place where we're willing to take ownership and responsibility for those decisions and the actions that we took that caused other people hurt and pain, only then will we heal. Hear me on that. Only then will we heal. And so many of us have seen failed relationship after failed relationship because we are still walking around traumatized and hurt, but we can't even own our own poor choices. So if you're ready for a real relationship, one that's not going to end in devastation, trauma, pain, and hurt, start taking accountability, responsibility, ownership, and stop blaming everyone else. Because no matter what somebody else did to you, 9 times out of 10, you did something as well. Whether it was to that person that caused you the original pain or not, maybe not. But I guarantee you, due to that trauma or pain, your actions that followed caused other people trauma and pain. So none of us are innocent. And until we stop pointing blame everywhere else and we start taking ownership for our decisions, only then will we heal, only then will we be a healthy society, and only then will we see separation and divorce rates start to come on a downward spiral. But as long as we are always placing blame on others and never taking ownership or responsibility for anything that we do, we will continue to be the society that is crippling and trembling, and families are falling apart, and nobody has a healthy relationship. Nobody knows how to healthily communicate. Nobody knows how to have ownership because we're too busy blaming everyone else. I have said it so many times in my own life. I can place blame on so many people, but that doesn't resolve anything. All it does is get me stuck, being unhealed, hurt, and full of trauma and triggers and PTSD. Why would I want to stay there? Why would I want to stay traumatized? Why would I want to stay